Go to Michael.
Yeah.
He's peanut. Terrible. He's just like, oh, these rises just don't fit. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that he wants to explore. And it's like all driven by like pricing. And I'm like, hey, just put him in this. Okay, just give me the spatial. We'll figure it out. He's like, I still think building B core should spin around. I'm like,
oh no.
I go, why? It's like, oh, it'd be so much easier to access the service risers from the lobby. And I'm like, but you're solving one problem and you're causing me like 15 others. Like, I've got to redesign the ground floor, level 1, and the basement. It's like, why would we can't do that? And it's like, oh well, it's just not going to fit at this point. And I'm like, well, we'll have to cross it.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't even drawn anything.
Oh, mate.
That's terrible.
Remember how, anyway, he's got like all this pipe work coming out from his hydraulic stack and his electrical. And he's like, I just can't get it like through the head. Like, I can't have them next to each other. I'm like, that's fine. Just give me the size. And can we split them into different risers for hydraulic? He's like, yeah, we can do that. I'm like, well, just give me the size and what I can do with it and let us figure it out. But anyway.
Joe's go at him didn't like kick him into gear a bit more.
No. Apparently not. I don't know. They're still driven by like they have to get a competitive price for like every item.
Yeah.
And I sort of said to him, only way around this, he's like, oh, look, I think we have to shift. Otherwise, we'll have to move the stairs up to here. And I'm like, you're taking a unit off every floor plate by doing this.
Yeah.
And it's like,
totally.
So look, we'll have the conversation today and just go through it. But like at this point, anyway, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, staying here.
Hey guys.
Hey Dean, how's it going?
Yeah.
I might share my screen for this one. So I just wanted to have a chat about getting the facade type drawing set up, like the 1 to 50s, 1 to 100s, and just to get a feeling for what you guys think is the right way to go about it. But I'm just going to zoom in here so you can kind of see. But I've split up the facade into 6 basic types, which I think should capture most of the conditions, at least in the towers. This is kind of, I think the podium levels with the brick and everything will come later. But I just wanted to start you guys getting a move on the tower components of the facades, like so mainly the curtain wall components. And I think this is kind of a strategy that Joe and I and Adrian and I have talked about, and we think it makes sense. But it'd be good to get your perspective on it, just to see if this documentation strategy is the right way forward. So just to give you a rough overview, I've split it into there's a facade type for the front of a room, which will be technically more advanced than other windows on the site. So it'll include like a trickle vent, operable windows, solid balustrade, etc. And that's a flat type. And then there's also, I'll just flick down to here, there's also the front of a room but angled, which is this south facade, and we've tried to limit that type just to that run, because it is a bit more technically complex, but it's essentially going to be the same type as this, but on an angle. Type 2 is a solid panel angled, and type 4 is a solid panel flat, which is over here. There's also the same type on building B, but it just has different breakup of mullions, etc. But it is essentially the same type. There's this side window type. So it's a flat window, but it's, I guess, less technical than the front window up here. It doesn't have a trickle vent. I think the majority of them won't be operable. We may have one or two operable ones, but it should be quite simple, more of a simple facade piece than this type up here. And then the last type is a front window with a balcony. I just need to update this image, but I'm getting that in now. So that'll have like a balustrade across the front and probably sliding doors, sliding elements. So I just wanted to start breaking up and tagging the facade in this kind of way, so it's really, really easy to understand which facade piece is going where. So this is tower A. This is the 6 on tower A, and then this is the 6 on tower B. So tower B is much more simple currently, which is good. So we were kind of thinking that going from, you know, the 1 to 100s where you're tagging these facade elements and then zooming into the 1 to 20s or the 1 to 50, where whatever we need to. It's probably all 1 to 20s or 1 to 25s for these facade items. That in those 1 to 20s, you're going to be having a little 3D element, right, yeah, a plan and a section of each one, and that's how we start describing. But during this tender phase, we can probably take these 6 facade types, and then moving into construction, we start splitting them up by color, you know, but we just want to keep it simple for now because it's only 50% tender. So that can happen down the line. Does that kind of sound reasonable to you guys?
But the elevation, you're just going to reference back to the main elevations, yeah? So the one sheet's got to have plan, your section, and an elevation back on another sheet, you know, and your 3D on this.
Yeah, I think the 1 to 20. What do you think, Adrian? Do you think we need an elevation on the 1 to 20
on the same sheet?
Yeah.
Ideally, I think it should be. It depends on the size of the facade that you're cutting. So, like near examples, like for example, type 4, which is on the screen there. If you're going to try and show 3 panels like that, it's probably going to take up quite. You probably won't be able to fit that on the page.
No,
but you can definitely truncate it, I think, if it's a simple panel like that. Otherwise, ideally, you do the 1 to 20 section plus the elevation. The other option is, if it doesn't fit at 1 to 20, to jump up to 125. If that's going to work better across the board.
For the 50%, do we need to jump right into the 20s? Would 50s not suffice?
I think it's
or you just want to stick with the same process all the way through?
I think just for this sort of exercise, it's just that extra layer of information on the sheet, so it's easily referenced. It's like kind of like a standard document that we're putting out for this sort of 1 to 20 facade work.
Yeah.
So I don't think that there needs to be as much detail shown in like obviously the detail is going to be in the 1 to 20 and in the section, and then the elevation and the won't have that much info really. It'll just be kind of tags, unless there's something that needs to be desperately highlighted, which in this project there probably won't be really anything like that. Maybe in the brickwork you'd show a bit more detail, but this sort of panel and glazing system, I think the elevation will be pretty straightforward.
And I think as well, we just want to limit the number of overlap of different scales. Yeah. So if we've got the 1 to 100s and we've got the 1 to 25s, we're not necessarily going to be showing much more information in the 1 to 50s.
Yeah. So those 1 to 50s might drop off a little bit depending on what we can get out of these, right? Yeah. So you're thinking, Ben, or not?
Yeah.
In the drawing list is we don't have the 1 to 50 drawing for the wall section study. 1 to 50 is for the podium area, and the upper floor is all 1 to 20.
I think that's the right approach.
Yeah.
That's kind of the approach that we're kind of talking about here in terms of like you're moving straight from a 1 to 100 where you're tagging the area of that type, and then you're zooming straight into a 1 to 25 to describe the detail of it.
Yeah. So we call out from the elevation to the 1 to 25, 1 to 20. Yeah. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
Now let's do one boo.
Okay.
Just cut one direct out the model. Just see if it all actually first fits all on the sheet.
Yeah, I think that's the first step is to kind of see how it's all fitting, because we'll know pretty quickly if it's a bit awkward.
Okay. Oh, but previously you say we have 6 type for tower A and 6 type for tower B, yeah?
No, it's 6 types together. So it will be the same type, but there'll be variations within each one. So, for example, type 6 is basically this type, like a balustrade with a room behind. Tower A has that along this facade, and Tower B has that along kind of these 3 facades. They're fundamentally the same, because it will be, you know, a glass system which slides with a balustrade in front, but in a Juliet balcony kind of arrangement. I think for 50% tender, it's enough to kind of have to say that's the type. There's going to be different colors within that, you know, so it might be for construction, we might have type 6A, type 6B, type 6C for different colors, or, you know, a different arrangement of mullions, but essentially for the builder pricing it, it's the same system.
Yeah, the reason I asked is in terms of set up the drawing, so we just we just need to base on the tower A and set up the drawing, and regarding the tower B, so we just reference back as a similar detail, something like this. We don't need to actually call out for the other section or plan elevation from tower B.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I think that's fine.
Okay.
Is that, sorry, I just missed the start of that. Was that when it's like a double up in facade design, Ben?
It's well, basically you get all of the 6 types in, correct me if I'm wrong, Boo, but you're getting all of the 6 types in Tower A. Yeah. So we just use Tower A as the building to capture all of those types.
Yeah.
And then rather than using Tower B as a zoomed in detail as well, we're just referencing where it is on Tower B.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as I mean for that level of detail, sure.
Yeah.
As long as the modeling of the facade matches and works with the plates, and that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Hey Ben, sorry, just on that. Do we need anything through the north end of Tower B from level 9 down? Or is that just solid the whole way through?
Do you mean like here?
Well, you've got that number 4.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Oh, yeah, that will be solid.
So do we need a type for that, or is that just like something that we can pick up in elevation?
I think it's still a type. It's still a solid panel type, which I'm saying is kind of the same as these solid panel types over here. It's just a solid aluminium panel with mullions and a mullion breakup, it'll be different from this tower to that tower, but essentially it's the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. But the setup from the facade might be a little bit different. Like some of the work between the actual facade and the slab and the internal wall might be a little bit different, but essentially it's the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I send, is it just easiest if I send you guys this this document?
Yeah.
And then we can start pulling, start placing them on sheets, and then I think we can just have a reassess of if that's working.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Great. Is there anything else you need from us to get started on that, apart from this?
Apart from this, so I just let you know what our progress so far is. Now we have already created a sheet, and regarding the view, the 100 1 to 100 scale and 1 to 200 scale drawing are already pulling the view onto the sheet. It means the plan, section, elevation, and the other packet like RCP or COP, something like it's already on the sheet, and staircase as well. In terms of the view, we start doing the view for the room type, kitchen type, bathroom type, in 1 to 50 and 1 to 20 drawing. Start call out that to put it on the sheet. So remember, we have been asking if you have the room type already identified on the markup drawing sent to us, so it will be big help for us, so we don't need to restudy for that. If you don't have that, so we will do rework out. That is okay, but this the one question, and we still need the need you provided the other sample drawing for the room layout, kitchen wet area, blah blah blah. So I will send a specific email with packet we need from you regarding the sample drawing. Yep. And what we're going to do is we were doing the sample drawing back to you based on the sample drawing you provided. We will send, for example, GA plan. We will send you one drawing, COP plan, or ceiling plan. We will send you one for you to review before we rolling out the whole packet. Okay. This is what we're going to do for this week, and continue to setting up the sheet for the 1 to 50 or 1 to 20 drawing for that.
And when, so you said you're going to send out those example sheets this week?
Yeah, we hopefully we send you the sample drawing for each for this week.
Okay, cool. Each one for the 50% boo, yeah?
Yeah. We pay on the sample drawing we receive from you.
So, and are you going to use, sorry, just to confirm on that, sorry, Dean, are you going to use, are you going to try and work those sample drawings up to match the examples that we've sent you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And just bear in mind that maybe the model, they maybe don't have all the information as the sample, but we just tag in blank. We'll tag in blank. You can provide us later, so we can fill up for that. Or we will.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, or if we have any specific questions, so during the way we work, so we will asking you straight away.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And I think just on that, Boo, I'm still working on the facade.
Yeah.
That's not. It's probably 70% of where it needs to be, even for DA level. Yeah. So I think just take my markup as a guide, and if the facades aren't the same from facade to facade, don't worry too much.
Yeah.
Because I am going through and updating that.
Okay.
This week.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's more about understanding how things are fitting on a sheet and whether we're capturing enough information and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. That sounds good, guys.
Okay.
I'll send that through. I'll send that stuff through today.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Is there anything else? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this all from us for now.
Okay, great. Adrian, you good?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Okay, bye.
See you later.